Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Rotos, the Lost Groom, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so actually acquired this guy via the fusion that was in here. It actually disappears after you do it, but was able to get this one from the fusion just yesterday. Finally got the Minotaur grind and some introductory gearing, and did some testing and ready to do a video. So let's go ahead and pull up in the index Rotos. In the Undead Hordes, top left, Magic Affinity, Attack Champion, and this is Rotos. So, as always, for my champion guide videos, I will have an infographic down in the video description that you can pull up and take a look at. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. It basically just shows the masteries I'm currently using on them, which I'll go over here in a little bit, and the optimal gear and kind of the grades I have for them currently and all of that. So, yeah, that will be down in the description. And Rotos is very good. I undersold him a little bit when he was first introduced to the game. I graded him kind of harshly, but as I've kind of learned more about him and seen more testing of him, he is actually a very good champion, and you'll see that here in the video. Let's go over the kit. We've got a base speed of 90, which is pretty low, but with really good gear, we can get around that. And an A1 that is attack one enemy with a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Also a 30% chance of granting an extra turn. So very cool there on the A1. We can place decreased defense, the big version. We can also really snowball in terms of gearing him in the relentless set, getting extra turns, snowballing, doing a bunch of damage, and it also scales off of attack and HP, which is very cool because the A2 is Vitality Blunder, attacks one enemy, decrease the target's max HP by 20%, then add that HP to this champion's own max HP. So we're increasing our own HP. We've got abilities that scale off of attack and HP, so that synergizes very well. Now, this is going to get a little bit wordy. Cannot decrease a single champion's max HP by more than 60% in one battle. Cannot increase this champion's max HP by more than 60,000. Does not decrease boss's max HP. This champion's max HP will be increased by 15,000 when the skill is used against bosses. So, basically, it's not gonna, work as, the same in the arena or against the clan boss. You're going to get 15,000 Vitality Blunder against the clan boss, and you can get up to 60,000. So if you get 4 turns against the clan boss, which is guaranteed, you're going to get 60,000 more HP. So a very good ability on a 2-turn cooldown that can really snowball in the arena and also increases HP pretty significantly in boss battles as well. Then the A3 is attack one enemy, will ignore 75% of the target's defense, will also ignore unkillable and block damage buffs, grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived, scales off of attack and HP. Amazing ability for the arena. This is absolutely insane. Obviously in Gold 4, you're going to be dealing with a lot of Skull Crowns. Ignore unkillable, boom, we can burst down Skull Crown. Ignore block damage, another, decently common ability you're going to run into. And defense teams are very common in arena defense. This will ignore 75% of the target's defense. So if you pair him in like Relentless and Cruel that have good speed on them, you can ignore like 80% defense and make this ability hit insanely hard. Then a passive, that's also pretty wordy, will decrease damage from a single enemy hit so that incoming damage will not exceed 50% of this champion's max HP from that hit. Can occur once per enemy attack. Grants an extra turn if this damage reduction occurs, but it does not work against bosses, so it's mainly just kind of an arena ability. Decrease the damage taken from bosses by 15%. That's very good for like the clan boss. Decrease the damage taken from bosses by 30% if Siphi the Lost Bride is on the same team. Siphi is also an undead, and she kind of pairs with Rotos. They're kind of the Lost Groom and the Lost Bride. Siphi is a Void. I did a video on her, kind of going over her. I don't have a champion guide on her because I don't have her, but she is an insane legendary. She's even better than Rotos, but they're both very good, and they have kind of cool synergy. So now let's go ahead and pull up my Rotos, and I'll kind of show you. Now I did just get this guy yesterday, so admittedly my gear is not perfectly god tier min-maxed. As you'll see, the crit rate is too high. I would like to transfer that into a little bit more crit damage and kind of get that more perfectly synergized. But if you want to see what I went with, Relentless plus Speed, because I want him to be very good for me in the arena, and also Speed tuned, for certain situations I want to test him out in the clan boss. But obviously, if we pull up the total stats, we're going to be going for a lot of crit damage while also getting 100% crit rate, good speed, good attack, and he's pretty tough to gear because you need the speed, the crit rate, the crit damage. Accuracy is not worthless on him because of the placing decreased defense on the A1, but it's not really a priority because that's really the only time he's going to need accuracy, and you're probably going to be bringing him with a debuffer in like your clan boss or your arena, but if not, then I guess the accuracy is a little bit more important, but I didn't prioritize the accuracy as of yet. If I get a better banner or something that, you know, has triple roll speed or something, I can mess around with giving him accuracy. But this was my best banner to put on him in terms of defense, HP, and really good speed. So that's the one I went with. And the accuracy not being a priority, I thought it would be okay to kind of, you know, take him for a run like this. I would love to use crit damage gloves. And I can, it's really hard for me to also get his crit rate and his speed to be acceptable. I just don't have the godly crit damage speed set gloves sitting around to put on him, so I had to go with crit rate, but most people are going to have to put crit rate on him. If you have godly gear, you can put crit damage gloves on him, and that'll be amazing. The chest, you've got some leeway here. I like to go with attack so that he'll hit super hard in the arena. That's what I'm going to try to use him for. Obviously, I wish this had speed. It would have made it a lot easier. I probably could have went with crit damage gloves in that scenario, but had to kind of work with what I have here because it can be a little bit tough to gear when you want to use the relentless set, because then you're really down to like 2 pieces and it can be hard to move stuff around. But I have pretty good relentless gear on him. The speed boots with crit rate, crit damage, and attack, that's pretty godly for him. The shield's pretty good. The speed, the crit rate, the crit damage, the HP. The helm, not amazing, but it's okay. It's got the speed and crit damage, and my crit rate's already too good. And the weapon is also very good with the speed, double roll crit damage, HP, crit rate. I wish the crit rate would have been something else because his crit rate's already insane, but that'll be very good for down the road when I find those good crit damage gloves that I can put on him. Just to show you, I already showed you the banner and kind of explained that. The amulet, we're obviously going to want crit damage and then as much, you know, accuracy and stats that we can get. The ring, you've also got some leeway on. This was my best blend of attack, defense, and HP that I had, so this is the one that went on there. So you're mainly just looking for your ring to be your best stat stick that you can get on him. Alrighty, and let's dive into the masteries here. As always, I like to preface this by saying you need to build the champion for how you use them. The masteries can change depending on how you're going to play the champion. If you're going to use them in only the arena or only faction wars or against the clan boss, the masteries can change. I went with kind of a general utility setup so that I can test him in many different areas, and this is kind of what I came up with. Obviously, if I'm going to use him against the clan boss, I want War Master, but I also wanted some things that would do well in the arena, like kill streak and kind of the standard route on offense. And then I took the counterattack stuff, and 50% chance of increasing turn meter when an ally is attached with crit. You know, some stuff that'll help me, the retribution, and kind of help me snowball in the arena and also do well in the clan boss and dungeons, so I can do some general testing. But these masteries are down in the video description if you want to pull up the infographic, so I don't have to sit here too long and look over this. I will show you him as a brutal farmer in the campaign. Sometimes people like to kind of see that just to get a look at how the champion performs, so we'll do this. I did a couple runs when I was testing, and it was typically between like 23 and 30 seconds, depending on how many relentless procs he gets. And so there, the Vitality Blunder is kind of his main hard-hitting ability. It's on a 2-turn cooldown if you haven't booked like I do, so there it was. And boom, boom. There we see the 3 turns in a row. Pop, pop, pop. Pretty cool there, and one-shotting most stuff, so this run will probably be somewhere around 30 seconds. Now, he does float kind of slow. Oh, wow, I nailed it. 30 seconds. But, yeah, so his animation is kind of slow. He just kind of meanders forward and meanders back. So he kind of looks like he's on X1, even if you have him on X2, which is semi-annoying, you know, in some instances of the game. But let's take him into the arena and kind of show what we got here. So this is in Gold 4. I just kind of built a team around him being my main damage dealer and then paired him with a bunch of CC effects, so I can just kind of snowball and let his stuff take over here. So I typically like to base my teams around doing well on auto. I don't like to have to... Now, you see there, that was really cool. That skull crown, I talked about that earlier when I was going over Rotos. Boom. makes it very nice dealing with Skull Crown. So that kind of worked out well that I was able to show that right away. But yeah, just in terms of quality of life and farming the arena over and over and over every day, I like to just be lazy, hit auto, and build a team around doing well on auto. I'll show you a couple more battles, and you'll see what I'm kind of talking about, how he floats forward. Watch him when he goes after this. He just kind of floats back. So that one ability there can be kind of slow, but in terms of his animation, I wish he would, you know, float a little bit faster, but it is what it is. It does look cool. It's just kind of slow. Oh, and we see the freezes can kind of make battles go a little bit slower in the arena sometimes. But yeah, Rotos is actually one of the top 5 used champions in the arena as of me recording this video. Let me start another you know, battle before I go over that. We'll try this one here. This team has good power, so this will be fun to watch. But yeah, so I did a video where I looked at the usage rate of champions in Platinum Arena, and that'll be one of my more recent videos at the time of posting this. And Rotos is a top 5 used champion at the top of Platinum Arena, despite the fact that he's very new. So he's obviously very good in the arena, and you're able to do a lot of different synergies to really, you know, make him perform well in many different teams. And he pairs very well with Siphi, that new Void. They're kind of tearing it up in the arena currently, and they're really becoming meta. They're both in the top 10. Siphi would probably be in the top 5 too, but she's a lot harder to acquire because she is a Void legendary. And boom. So that's kind of showcasing him in the arena. And now I will showcase him against the clan boss. I've got to do Nightmare. I don't want to hit Ultra and just kind of cap out. So I'm going to have to work around the Magic Affinity, which is really rough because I use double counterattack with Spirit. So that is going to be a little bit difficult. My double counterattack won't perform super well. I'm probably going to put Skull Crusher in instead of Valk. I want the defense aura of Martyr, but I also probably, I might try Jareg actually instead, because I really need the decreased attack. So let's try that here. Let's go Epic, Jareg, and we'll try this. I would want the defense. I need the Draco for the poisons and the Baleful Eye. The sustain, the Rotos, the counterattack. This isn't going to be optimal and perfect, but it'll give us a good look at what Rotos is kind of capable of doing. Okay, so now we go into our counterattacks. Our decreased attack, that's good. Yeah, Rotos did like 120k there with the proc. That ability hit pretty hard. The Vitality Blunder, and he's going to have a lot of HP because of that. Wow, he hit for 130k there. And I don't have mine perfectly optimized. I could probably get him hitting for 150, 160k pretty easily. That was 121. $135. There, he got the extra turn finally from the Relentless. So, yeah, he can get up there to doing 200,000 or 300,000 in one turn if he gets a Relentless proc. So pretty cool there. Definitely a hard-hitting champion that can, you know, pump out some deeps in a short amount of time. And there my Draco had just horrible AI, wasting the Baleful Eye when the debuffs were maxed out. So yeah, I will fast forward this until the end of the fight, and then we'll kind of take a look at the numbers that we're able to get here out of this team featuring Rotos. Alrighty, and I'm back. So obviously Magic being super strong against my Martyr. The boss was able to get some lucky RNG, pick off the Martyr, and things are starting to kind of fall apart here. But yeah, look how many bars of HP the Rotos has. Those little bars, those little black bars. He's got a lot of HP after it stacks up. And I actually saw him hit for like 240k once. And wow, look at that deeps. This was a 6-minute battle, and he did 10.5 million damage, and his gear is not like godly. I could probably easily get this team or at least get a team with Rotos in it that does 50 million against the Nightmare Clan boss. This was a bad run, and really one of the first times taking Rotos for a spin. His gear isn't super min-maxed and god tier yet, and I have some further testing to kind of perfect this. I could get this team to do 40 something, possibly even 50 million featuring Rotos, where Rotos would do like 15, 17, 18 million, somewhere in there. So he definitely cranks out the deeps very fast. So that's pretty encouraging. I like that. And that's because he scales with attack and HP. That's a very cool ability of his. So, all right, let's pull him up. And one thing I like to do here in these videos is go ahead and review them. So they recommend offense and crit rate. That's pretty bad. But they don't ever recommend the more advanced sets. So they're not going to recommend like Relentless in this. So yeah, whatever, but I don't really, this should be like speed and at least immortal or something, but they really keep it basic. So for beginner players, this is probably an okay recommendation. Being offense, we're gonna go 5. Ice Golem, he's magic. Level 20 is magic or spirit. I think it's spirit. So I'm gonna go 5. Arena defense, he's not quite as good. It's like a 4.5. I'm going to give him a 5. Clan boss, I'm going to give him a 5. Dragon's Lair, he's fine. He's a good DPSer. He'll do good in the Dragon. Campaign, I'm going to give him a 3. He's not really a campaign farmer, but he can do it. It's like a 3.5 or so. Minotaur is a great DPSer. Faction Wars, he can be your ADC, your damage carry. Magic Keep. Yeah, he's going to be good there. Spirit Keep. Yeah. Very good. Void, very good. Fire Knight, he's not going to be good. He's a 2. And Spider Den also going to be a 2. Force Keep, he can crank out the deeps, but he's affinity countered. He does ignore defense, and the Force boss has a lot of defense. I'll give him a 3. So yeah, I think the rankings are fairly accurate. They're not showing the Arcane Keep, but they show most of the other stuff here. They got the Faction Wars added recently. So yeah, and that's gonna kind of do it for this video on Rotos. Remember, I will have this infographic down in the video description if you want to pull that up and take a look. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.